We're going to the calls, and there are many, a great many. Alex is an Arsenal fan. Alex, good morning. How you've done it? You've got to the head of the queue. I do not know, but you're there, mate, and you're welcome. What's your take on all of this?
Well, look, guys, I listened to Mark Goldbridge at the weekend on talkSPORT. He said whether the ball went out of play or not was inconclusive, and then proceeded to slam the ref for giving the goal. He must surely know that if it's inconclusive, then you go with the on-pitch referee's original decision. For the record, I think the ball's in. If we're applying the rules of goal line technology, then I think the ball is in, just. But the greater point for me is it's inconclusive. The offside, Anthony Gordon, probably not offside, inconclusive. Now, the foul, I think that's inconclusive too. Sorry, Martin. Had it been given, fine, but it wasn't, and so we go again with the referee's decision. Now, none of those decisions are conclusive. They're not clear, they're not obvious, so go with the goal. I don't see a problem here. And you know what? Had he not given it, we'd have this exact debate in reverse. Arteta's rant is ridiculous. The rant is on the same level of incredulity as the Diaz goal that was disallowed, which was a factual goal. Arteta wants the law. He wants it implemented like they do in Spain in the Liga. And that goal probably wouldn't have been given. But we don't apply the same level of standards. And personally, sometimes I think that's a good thing. Had we scored it, had Arsenal scored that goal, I would have expected the goal to be given.
Wow. And you're a big Arsenal fan, Alex. Do you back Arsenal's statement supporting Arteta?
No, I'm not sure I do. I've got to try and be really objective, obviously being an Arsenal fan myself. And I think on balance, probably not quite. I think what Simon said was said in good judgment. And I think sometimes the club you have to come back and you have to kind of back your manager. And the price, you've got to take that price into account.
But Alex, your individual view before you go, and I'm not putting words in your mouth, correct me if I'm wrong. As an Arsenal fan, you think your club got it wrong and you think Arteta got it wrong?
Ultimately, yes.
Alex, I want to thank you for your call. That is brutally honest. Thank you for that. Stephen's a big Tottenham fan. This will be interesting. Stephen, good morning.
Good morning, Jim. Morning, Simon. Morning, Martin.
Morning, mate. What's your take on it?
Well, I've got to say I started my comments on this over the weekend when something different happened at the weekend with regards to VAR on a few games I was watching. I heard the statement being made after the decision that it was inconclusive evidence to change the on-field decision. Now, that's the first time that's happened consistently. So the weekend it was refreshing. Whether people agree with VAR or not, it's actually improving, because that's a difference that's been made over this weekend that I've actually appreciated hearing them say that statement after each decision. But also, if you go back to commentary at the weekend as well, what I think needs to happen is you need to have people like Gary Neville on commentary keeping his mouth shut until the decision is made by the officials. He's sitting there giving it, I can hear VAR, I can hear Stockley Park saying this, I can hear them saying this, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. Gary, shut up. It's none of your business. Let the officials do their job.
Stephen, thank you. Go on, Stephen. Sorry, I cut you off. Come back at me.
Aye. Once that's done, you start forming more conclusive decisions.
Yeah.
And then people start to support the system. Now,
it's a great point.
Go back a few weeks to Liverpool's goal that was disallowed. That is pure pressure. See if the referees in Stockley Park a few weeks ago against Tottenham-Liverpool, if they had the same time that they had this week and did the job the way they did this week, Liverpool might not have had what's his face caught on their ranking for replay.
Stephen, you browned up my morning. Thank you for that. Stephen, the Tottenham fan, joining the debate. We'll probably carry it on the other side of 11 o'clock. Nothing would surprise me. Lee's a big Arsenal fan. In Simon's opinion, Lee, in my opinion as well, I think Martin's coming close to where we're at. Arteta crossed the line. Do you agree?
No, I completely disagree, actually. I think he was right on the point, if I'm honest with you. You know, at the end of the day, I think that is a foul anywhere on the pitch. I think if you'd watched the rest of the game, that would have been given as a foul anywhere else on the pitch. It just so happens that when it matters, they didn't focus on it. And in my opinion, the smoke screen was put up. The ball potentially going out of play, there potentially being an offside. I think that distracted away from the main point, which was looking at the foul, which is two hands straight out into the back. He's done that 2 yards away from the goal line, and somehow there's an opinion that that's not a foul.
So Lee, if we look at Arsenal's statement then, Are you now talking from the Arsenal playbook? That the PGMOL urgently needs to address the standard of officiating and focus on action, which moves us all on from retrospective analysis, attempted explanations, and apologies. You now read from that same playbook.
Do we not all agree with that?
Well, what does that mean, though?
Really?
What does it mean?
Well, I think the refs do need to get better. And I think the VAR needs to get better. I think we all agree with that. He said it in an emotional way.
But you can see that gets many more decisions right than wrong. That's a fact.
Yeah, of course it does as a fact. But if you look at the standard of officiating throughout the game, not just VAR, it is terrible.
Based upon what benchmark, Lee? Based upon what benchmark, Lee? Because if you're going to concur with what Arteta, do you concur with the entire length of breadth of his observation, which is basically comparing it to all leagues around the world, basically saying that every aspect of PGMOL and English refereeing is a disgrace and failing? You think he has the right to go that far?
Look, I don't think he articulated himself particularly well on the day. I think we could all agree with that. But I don't think he was saying that everywhere else has got better officials than us necessarily. I think what he was saying was that's a foul no matter where you are. In my opinion, I think a lot of people's opinion, it was a foul, a clear one.
Okay, and do you think Havertz should have been sent off, Lee?
I think that's probably a marginal one. I think the book in there, probably agreeable. I think if Havertz goes, then there's no doubt that Guimaraes must go as well.
Agreed.
Because that's a blatant elbow in the head.
I think we're agreed on that.
But it's interesting that you're so definite. There's no subjectivity in the decisions that go against Arsenal, but there's subjectivity in the ones that go for them. That doesn't.
Would you not agree that the Havertz one was subjective then?
No, I think it was a red card.
You think that's a blatant red card?
Yeah, I do.
Martin, did you?
Yeah,
we're agreed on that. Lee, thanks for that. We'll finish with Connor, who's a Newcastle fan, whose team won the points. Connor, good morning.
Good morning, Jim, Simon and Martin.
Good morning.
Listen, my opinion is twofold. First of all, to be clear, because I've heard the suggestion being made, Arsenal were not denied 3 points because they didn't score. And you need to score in order to win a game of football. They didn't do that, and Arteta should be more worried about that, personally. Secondly, I think what VAR done was a goal, and some people will say, well, you would say this, you're a Newcastle fan. I think it was implemented the way it should be. They looked at the instance. They came to the conclusion that they couldn't conclusively say that the ball's in or out, so that's fine. Then you discount that because you can't disallow a goal on the basis of not knowing. And we know that the directive is to give the advantage to the attacking team more this season, which they've been doing. The foul and the offside are both subjective because, again, they've inconclusive proof. As far as the foul is concerned, really, VAR's not there to re-officiate the game. If the referee's made a decision on the field, just because a VAR official thinks, I think that might be a foul, that doesn't necessarily mean it should be overturned. It's just a different opinion, as we've heard, the reason we're having this debate, which, in my opinion, proves the whole point. The fact we're having a debate and people have different opinions is exactly why VAR didn't have any reason, in my opinion, to overturn the decision that was made on the field. And that's what it goes with. So what I can't get is we always attack VAR and ignore that the actual decision was made by the official on the park, and VAR was only there to guide. So I think, Arteta should be focused on his own team's performance and the fact they've lost 2 games in a week and have been abjectly poor going forward, instead of putting up a smoke screen and ignoring the fact that he's really complaining he didn't get a 0-0 draw. Is that good enough for wannabe champions?
Some good points in there, Connor. Thank you for that. And thanks to everybody for their contribution on this one.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.